Watercraft play an important role in the economy and cargo transportation, and are also a popular mode of transportation for boat trips, recreation, and travel. In our new episode, get ready to see many fascinating cases with huge liners, container ships, beautiful ships, fast boats, and yachts. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to not miss our next episodes. There is good news for fans of water transport and extreme sports. They can choose an alternative to off-road driving. Unfortunately, the owners of these cars will be disappointed. 54 of the 62 cars were destroyed by the storm. We didn't even think that a head-on collision between two ships looked so spectacular. It seems that a little more and he would have turned his yacht into a real submarine. That's why you shouldn't walk on the embankment in bad weather. Guess which ship's captain skipped parking lessons? When two sheep collide with each other, neither of them will give in to the other for anything, even if there is such an opportunity. You and I have just witnessed about the same situation, except that its participants are not two animals, but two huge ships. The result is obvious. The current is so strong that even a large ship would not be able to resist it. What can we say about a small boat? In order to save a person in such a desperate situation, one needs to find a helicopter. The chances of parting were minimal, so it was not surprising that the collision did take place. What a level of speed! It seems that this boat is flying over the water. Look at that, even a serious obstacle didn't stop it. I want to show some respect to the one at the helm, but I would not like to be his passenger. Drake Strait, located between Cape Horn at the southern tip of South America and the South Shetland Islands, is known as one of the most dangerous and unpredictable places for navigation. Perhaps the captain of the larger vessel fell asleep or was distracted by something. At the same time, it is difficult to imagine what could be more important in this critical situation. It is such boat trips and motorboats that provide the most vivid summer memories. I wonder if they'll be able to fix such an issue with this boat. This fare dodger is getting on board. This woman wants to go on vacation so much that she is even ready for such drastic measures. What a right size! This one bottle is definitely enough for the whole company, and you won't have to run to the store in the middle of the party. The delivery of the boat was not as smooth as they wanted. Now the ship will at least have to be polished and maybe even painted. Someone managed to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. They were able to use the boat and swim a lot. This accident probably occurred after the cable used to connect cruise ships with tugboats that take them into the city canals broke. The ship could not stop due to strong currents guiding it to the pier, and at the mooring stage crashed right into the pleasure boat and the pier. These people witnessed how the ferry crashed into the pier at full speed. None of the 53 passengers were injured, but the causes of the incident have yet to be determined. Still, size matters and allows you to behave in a certain way. Since 2018, a Hyundai floating crane with a lifting capacity of 10,000 tons has been put into operation. The energy required for the operation of this giant is generated by 4 powerful generators. Now it's clear why, after the delivery of the car from overseas, the car needs to be handed over for major cleaning both inside and outside. Do you also feel like you witnessed the coolest scene from an action movie for a second? What an incredible trick! Not everyone is able to repeat it. Such a serious conflict unfolded in the open spaces of the sea. The crew of a cargo ship is trying to prevent poachers from another ship from carrying out their criminal activities. Everything is right. If we don't protect nature today, what will happen to our planet tomorrow? That's what happens to boats parked in the wrong place. Don't you think that a water transport tow truck is too cruel and aggressive? A calm and safe trip on a tourist liner suddenly turned into a dangerous adventure for lovers of having a relaxed rest. Most of the passengers, to their surprise, took the difficulty that took them by surprise with a smile. People started jumping into the sea. It was an unforgettable day. Apparently, the cruise has to be cancelled. It is amazing how a collision occurred on such wide expanses of water. I have only one explanation: these captains fell asleep. Otherwise, it was simply impossible for such a situation to happen. He did a great job of conquering the waves until the moment when everything turned into failure. It is a pity that they did not notice the warning about the restriction of the passage of ships here. What do you know about sudden awakening? Here is an effective yet cruel way. When you get on such a boat, you need to understand that sooner or later this can happen.
You good?
Who needs boring boat trips if you can have a lot of fun? Before watching similar videos, it would be great to buy some sedative pills. One needs nerves of steel here. If the actions are not dangerous, then why not have fun? Usually, people are not afraid of fish, although they usually do not jump into boats. It seems that this boat got tired of its owner and decided that it was time to choose its own path. Do you remember how the Titanic sank? This ship had a similar fate. It ran into an iceberg that was underwater, and due to a severe hole in the side, sank in just a couple of hours. As it turned out, a huge tanker can also run aground. In 2020, a ship called Stella Banner got into a really bad situation. The crew was immediately evacuated, and several hundred tons of fuel oil were removed from the tanker. However, the ship itself was no longer subject to restoration, so the ocean had acquired a new artificial reef. A huge cargo ship carrying about 4,000 vehicles crashed off the coast of Georgia. Despite all the drama of the situation, the shipwreck looked incredibly spectacular, and the crew members were evacuated on time. Still, it's time for him to move to the water, otherwise he can destroy an entire embankment. Free navigation on small vessels is not possible everywhere. Some water areas are closed to public access and are carefully guarded for various reasons. First of all, we are talking about maintaining the security and secrecy of military zones. Most likely, the people on that tiny boat felt extremely uncomfortable when a huge liner, which is 500 meters long, approached them. Overtaking watercraft on the water requires compliance with certain rules and procedures to ensure the safety of all participants. Therefore, captains should be more attentive and always analyze the current situation. A huge ship struggles through powerful waves and strong winds during a storm. Despite the storm, the ship continues its journey, withstanding the blows of the elements. Poor visibility and limited space in the port make it difficult for crews to work. By the way, they coped and were able to complete the maneuvers without unpleasant consequences. And we're moving on at the speed of light. All the most interesting things are still ahead. The captain of the tugboat certainly did not expect that his ship was in danger. It was only by a miracle that the disaster was avoided. Sometimes even on the high seas, you can collide with another ship. Here, for example, is footage of a Chinese fishing vessel hitting a Japanese patrol ship. Apparently, the navigator panicked and started making even more mistakes because he hit the patrol vessel several more times. It should be noted that the company of four-legged friends did not pick the best time to walk along the beach.
No, porque está reventando antes.
Mira, no, sí, mira.
Ay, los perritos, por Dios, por Dios.
Si decimos es a correr, a correr.
This is how impressive a French Navy ship looks sailing during a storm for a rescue operation. The captain knows how effectively he will appear in port. Sometimes the crew can just use their ship as a huge slingshot. After such a parking of the ship in India, the captain will obviously be fired. As a rule, such a storm checks the strength of the stomach of every sailor. There is a feeling that something will disturb their beach peace today. The pirate show turned out to be interesting, especially its unexpected ending. I'm sure that the owner of the yacht will definitely never forget it. What can I say? He took a chance, but he didn't succeed. For some reason, I'm sure that the captain will be responsible for such a fail, and not the insurance company. To come face to face with the water element on your own initiative, you need to be either stupid or brave, or maybe both. These crazy guys decided to test their strength and plunge into the real danger. Even if not on purpose, the captain of the ship taught the driver a lesson because he likes to park in the wrong places. So that's why sailors are always healthy. The thing is that the sea itself takes care of their physical shape. Oops, looks like someone doesn't know how to wait at all.
Yeah, Michael. I have a problem. Yeah.
What an incredible uniformity of movements. I am ready to watch them for a very long time while admiring the skills of these guys. The most important thing on the ship is that everyone responsibly performs the work entrusted to them. For example, someone badly secured the cables and the crew lost their lifeboat. No roller coaster can compare to the waves that randomly lift your boat higher and higher. This is Tetris for adults. We all still have the same problems. In this case, someone not particularly attentive forgot to put the device on the handbrake. Everything worked out this time, but for some reason I have no doubt that soon this old guy will still crash into some kind of boat. Now they have to make a long trip. However, it seemed that the boat would pass perfectly. They were able not just to ride, but also to swim. In my opinion, everything turned out as well as possible, but the girls don't seem to think so.
And how do you like such a twist? To be honest, I can't do without your comments here.
That's what happens when you skip physics at school. In a perfect relationship, there is always these two. The one who is always restless, and the one who has to silently endure and accept while getting ready to solve all the issues later. It was a wrong choice, however, their boat is finally clean now. I just don't have the words. I feel only admiration. Can someone teach me to park like that? She tried so hard to hold a pose for a beautiful photo that she fell overboard. It's good that a friend filmed this moment, so there will be something to remember. It is a beautiful view, isn't it?
Don't forget to share the most impressive moment of this episode in the comments below. See you soon.